Good evening, everyone. It's time for another episode of Shine at 9. It's a beautiful Monday today. Hopefully that you are joining us in the good of health and, having a good evening after having had your dinner. So today it is episode number 29. And episode 29 today is about the best me. How can I become the best version of myself? So for this topic, I've got two very special guests, and they're both international speakers. And without much further delay, I want to invite them to the studio. My first guest is my very good friend, Mr. Christopher. And the second guest is Miss Sophie. Hi, guys.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening,
Chris.
Good
Hi,
evening.
Geraldine.
Hello. Sophie, you are not in Malaysia. Whereabouts are you?
I am right now in South Africa, and that is why you're seeing a beautiful blue sky behind me. Maybe you can see it. It is 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I am so pleased to be with you today.
It's 3 p.m. in the afternoon, and it's bright, shiny over there. And Christopher, you're obviously in Kuala Lumpur.
Yeah,
it's 9 p.m. where you are.
Yes.
Okay. For those of you who have been, following Shine at 9, Christopher was actually our guest in episode 4. And on that show, that night, we spoke about motivation, didn't we, Chris?
Yes.
Yeah? Right.
That was amazing.
That was many moons ago.
Yes.
And thank you so much for coming back. I'm so happy to have you back. And with you
Thank you
today,
very much, Geraldine.
Introduce me to Sophie.
Thank you so much. I'm really so excited to be here. Being broadcasted live all the way here. Should I start introducing myself a little bit?
Sure. No problem. Come, go ahead. Introduce yourself, Sophie.
So you can hear the French accent. I'm actually originally from Belgium, from a little town called Antwerp. And I have moved to South Africa at the age of, what was it? Probably I was 19, seemed like a while ago. In 95, I moved to South Africa. But in between that time, I lived in many different places of the world, and I feel like I'm a global citizen, And
Nice.
and yeah, very, very cool. And I was lucky enough to go to Singapore last year for one of the seminars and events that I went to, where I met a common friend of both Chris and I, and that's how I got to meet Chris. So thanks to technology, and then thanks to technology, I get to meet you, Chris, and Geraldine as well.
It's really lovely. And it's just a couple of days since I actually first spoken to you.
And it feels like we know each other for a while now, because it's just we just all connected, the three of us. So thank you again for inviting me here. And I think it's important for you to know, all of you listeners out there, that you are in good hands with all three of us. So my background is in coaching. In 2008, I qualified as a life and business coach. And I've been doing this ever since, because personal development is a passion for me, right? Like bringing light and inspiration is what I've done since I'm maybe 9 years old, I think, or 10, wanting to always make sure that my environment would be okay around me. It's just like a natural space. And I lived in Switzerland. I studied there, and I then carried on with my schooling. As I said, the coaching qualification was through the ICF accreditation in South Africa. I am also working for one of the top business accelerators in South Africa called ORIC, and they are a business accelerator, which means they take businesses through a process of turning a business into an asset of value. So I got the business side, and then I have the training side. I train in soft skills development as well, and I've done this all over the world for the last 2 years. And lastly, I do art photography. So the picture that you see behind me, Almo, is a picture that
So
I've taken on.
beautiful.
Thank you. On one of my
Wonderful.
trips in Miami. And the reason why I take pictures and photography is just to enlighten the world around me. My surname is Licht. Licht means light, and I take it very
Ah,
seriously.
right,
This idea
right.
of just bringing inspiration in through coaching and light. So my idea today with you is to bring value and light into this room.
Wonderful. Thank you
Beautiful.
so much, Sophie. Beautiful, isn't it? And
Yeah, that
and
Thank
is
you.
wonderful.
yeah, I can't help but notice, like, is it like fate or whatever that over here it's 9 p.m. and the show always goes on at 9 p.m. and somehow you are there with the light streaming through.
Yes, that's
Yeah, that is
true.
wonderful.
It's so strange, isn't it, Chris?
So
Yes,
true.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that is beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
let me introduce myself.
Sure,
And
come please.
yeah, um, I'm an engineer by profession and started my career as an engineer and attached to a multinational company for almost 2 decades. And from there, I found my passion in speaking and training. And that is where I ventured into my training career. My first training was in customer service. And from there, I wanted to develop myself. I did my train the trainers program. And when I attended this the trainers program, that's not what exactly I really wanted because most of the trainings are uh, like it is too not kind of my kind of a training where you inspire people, but this is more on a classroom style. And that is where in 2016 I was attending a seminar. I met this wonderful trainer right on the stage. He was talking with a full energy and power, and that was my mentor, Master David Go. And from there, I wanted to get contact with him, and some or other, I knew him because he invited me for a program called Amodago. That was in 2016, and that is where I fall in love with that program. It was an awesome, beautiful 4 days workshop that has transformed me, and it was a beautiful experience
Mhm.
that I really thought way before Master David Go invited me for the program. He was asking me to attend these 4 days, and I was thinking, why should I attend this program? As I was already a speaker before, and
Mhm.
I've been already doing a training, and why do I need to attend this program? And he told me, like, Chris, you should attend this program and see how you can, from there, how you can develop yourself. And I
Mm.
say, okay, since this man is inviting me, and I attended the program, true enough, it really transformed me the way I speak, and it really, I fall in love with the program. Eventually, I took over the company, and today it's already been 4 years, and we've
Mhm.
been training quite a number of people. The program is already here almost 25 years. Amodago
Right, right,
International,
right. Amodago
and
International. Mhm.
next week we are having another session after a long break, a lockdown.
This will be a physical session, yeah? Physical class.
Exactly. Yeah,
Wonderful.
that session will be 565 session.
Oh, it's the
Wow.
That means we already
565 session. Wow.
Success.
565.
It's a good number.
Yes, and I'm really excited to do the program next week, and it's going to be a wonderful session. Yeah,
That's
and that
amazing.
is about me. Yeah.
That's wonderful. I picked up something in your self introduction earlier, Chris. The fact that you mentioned that you attended this program, Amodago International, and you developed yourself. So I think
Yes.
that's the basis of what we are going to talk about today. to become the best version of yourself, you actually need to first and foremost be a student. You gotta learn. You gotta it's either you have a mentor, someone teaches you, or you teach yourself. You watch YouTube, you follow coaches on Instagram and things like that. Aside from, of course, going to a physical classroom, right?
Yes, you are right, Geraldine. Learning is a continuous process where we have to learn and develop ourselves along the way. There's no such thing someone come and say like I have learned enough and it is enough for me. No,
Yeah.
we got to
And
learn continuously. And yes, Sophie, you wanted to say something?
yeah, no, I wanted to, like, I'm so excited by what you're saying, because what I have found in the career that we are both in, probably you might just feel it as well, Chris, is that we learn and we teach at the same time. So when we have that mindset and the agility of being student, teacher, teacher, student, we realize that we don't know, we want to grow, and then in some areas we do know, and in this flexibility allows us to move in our growth, therefore harnessing that power of becoming the best version of yourself.
Yes.
I do believe in this. When you teach, you learn twice. And
Yes.
I always, and that somehow brings me joy. The thought of that brings me joy, because once in a while I do enjoy teaching or sharing of knowledge. It doesn't have to be like a professional setting or a proper setting, formal setting. But as long as you're passing on knowledge, it gets me excited that I'm not doing this person a favor. I'm actually doing myself a favor. I can deepen my knowledge. I learn more just because I want to teach someone to be probably better than me. You know.
And
Okay.
you know what? Yeah, and you
Yeah.
know what's interesting as well? I found we always teach what we need to learn most.
Right. That's interesting.
Yes.
Mm.
I have found that, for example, I work on a lot of a subject of self-confidence or love or whatever it may be, that primary relationship with oneself. And that's something that all of us, I mean, I certainly needed to develop this over a period of time as well. So there's so many aspects around learning and teaching oneself.
Mm.
Yeah, you're right, Sophie. You see, during our program, the 4 days workshop, we have a group of people right from 16 years old, and the oldest was like 75 years old. We had right uh, from a Paralympic sportsman to a man who have lost everything in his life and who's wheelchair bonded. And all these people, they have an experience in their life that they wanted to share with us, and that is where we learn something that we have not gone through, but they have learned their lesson through a hard way, and something they want to teach the world as well.
Mm.
So that is where the learning process comes in, and it is
Yes.
exciting to go on learning from these people.
Yeah, exactly. I've attended one session actually. I've been very lucky to be invited by Chris to attend the session Amodago International class, and it was scary for me because I'm that sort of person who rather be in the back of the class, rather than the front of everybody, and it was very daunting for me. But I came on day one, and was it day four that I attended again? I actually visually saw the changes in the students. They were nervous, they were quiet in the beginning, but at the end, the fourth day, they were not only they bonded. Obviously, that is part of the process. But when they speak, they were really transformed, and that's just 4 days. Imagine what they can do in their life
Amazing.
throughout. It's amazing. It's really good. I quickly typed out. I'm not sure if I got it accurate, Chris. I typed it out. Amodago International is a 4 days workshop. Yeah, connect with
Yeah.
Chris if you want to know more information. Yeah, just very quickly I typed that out. I'll just take a pause for a while just to say hello to some of the viewers here who have already joined us. Hi Sharon, thank you for always
Hi.
watching 9 at 9. She's always watching, and I'm really grateful for her.
Hi, Sharon.
Yeah.
Hello, Sharon.
For those of you who just joined us, I'll just recap a little bit. Sophie is an international trainer, speaker, coach, and art photographer. She's known for traveling the world as a specialist skills facilitator. So Sophie teaches creatives, salespeople, and innovators in 12 countries so far, yeah, Sophie, 12 countries and counting. And that is over the last 2 years. And this has allowed her to capture an eclectic collection of art photography shots using just a phone. Yeah, correct. I'm right here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everything from architecture, portraits, vistas, and micro details. So Sophie is a very talented photographer, and she's also an international trainer, and that's why she's on this platform together with my good buddy Christopher. So Christopher, he is a master trainer and has been a professional trainer for the past decade. Although he is a trained engineer by training, he found his passion in teaching, and not just teaching, he teaches customer service and motivation. So along the way, was it last year, Sophie, you mentioned that you guys met in Singapore?
We have met only technology-wise. I met a
Oh,
friend that we have in
I
common,
see.
Sri, and he's a beautiful human. And I said, Sri, don't you know anyone? I would love to do some work in Malaysia that has the same values as me, that we could just connect and kind of share our gifts. And that's
Hmm.
how he connected me to Christopher.
Ah, that's interesting because you requested for something very unique with the same values and things like that. So when you met Chris, how do you know that he's the one?
So, it's quite interesting because I rely a lot on my gut instinct and my intuition.
Mhm.
And I have seen over time that when I don't go with my gut or intuition, I make mistakes. And when I am very much aligned with myself, because I feel powerful from within, I feel authentic, I don't have too much inner noise really, then I have the ability to really access that sense of, yeah, this is the right kind of person. And everything around us is energy anyway, right? I mean, it's not anymore a subject today that people would turn around and say, what energy? It's very much everyday's language today. Energy is like our fuel. It's what surrounds us, is what makes this conversation, the three of us, work today as well, Geraldine, is your energy and what you bring into this Shine at Nine. We work within a structure or a framework or an ecosystem, but what brings things to life is us as individuals.
That's so true. That's so true. And Chris, how do you know
Yes.
you want to work with this person called Sophie?
The common friend of ours is a very good friend of mine, and he was telling me, he said there is a person who is in a training industry, and would you like to get connected with this person? I said, well, why not? If we are in the same industry, and it only happened during this MCO period, and that is where we try to connect each other via Zoom, and
Mhm.
I think it was an amazing connection between both of us, and I saw a lot of great things done by Sophie. And Sophie, let me ask you one thing: how do
Sure.
you connect your photography with your training? Can you please tell the audience about this, because it amazed me, but I think they wanted to know more about that too.
Perfect. Yes. So I have a particular lens in which I view life. And that is that everything that I see, even a leaf on the ground, I have a respect for, and more mainly I live in the present moment. So when I was in Australia, I would just look down and see a beautiful leaf, and then when I see the leaf, I suddenly think about something that I want to share with the world, which is dictated by my coaching experience. Because when you are a coach, and Chris, you probably would know this for yourself as well, right? The kind of work that we do is so intrinsic. We are not a coach or a trainer from 9 to 5. We become that. It's a philosophy of life. And what's interesting about the photography is that I've never trained professionally, but I so believed in it. It was a creative urge. Again, listening to my intuition, I started to just, take my phone and started to take these pictures. And maybe I'll show you one, because I have a quote for all of these pictures that I do, and they really are informing how I see life. So, for example, we are in lockdown, in South Africa as well, because the cases are going up. So I am a person, I usually travel the world, I walk, I'm excited, and I said to myself, how am I going to stay creatively connected in my house, right? So I take pictures in the garden, can you see? And
Wow.
this is the bird of paradise. And as I was looking at it, and I was seeing that the birds are all, or these leaves or flowers are all, it's pointing in the same direction. I said, I quickly wrote there, life will always point us in the right direction. Open your heart and see. And these things are coming like that to me. And that's why I link it to what I do. What I, when we speak about a product or a service that we offer, it's never about the product itself. It's the value that we bring to the world. So for me, I don't sell pictures or coaching. I sell inspiration. And so
Oh, I
inspiration,
love that.
you see, thank you. So inspiration can be seen through. I was walking the other day around the block, and this, as you can, I don't know if you
Hold
can
on,
see
yeah.
that.
Just hold it up, yeah. Just one moment. Yeah.
It's interesting because all it is a piece of wall with a
Ah,
light that was
I
shining
see.
through.
I see.
That's all. And then I wrote there, the journey of becoming starts with a twinkle of light. There you
Mm,
go.
wonderful.
Beautiful.
Thank
I,
you.
I I picked up again as you both are speaking. I keep on picking up stuff, and this is the first time actually I've got a little notebook and a pen. Usually I'm just listening and talking to my guest, and today I don't know why I just decided to do this. Sophie, just for everyone's information, Sophie is actually in South Africa right now, and she's just shared with Chris and I that there is a power outage, right? And here she is talking
Correct.
about energy, and look at her. It doesn't even look like she's going through this situation. You know, a lot of people would like be so challenged by it, not be able to cope, and the face will show some kind of a stress. And for sure, I am one of those people. But look at her right now; she's just like everything is all right. That's not a problem and everything. Right now, she's sitting there. It's really cold. What's the temperature right now, Sophie?
It's like 4 degrees. It's like now it's about, this morning it was -1. Like it
Minus
felt
one.
like it was between -1 and 0, because it's one of the coldest winters in South Africa at the moment.
and, and,
Ah,
and look at her, there's no heater running. She's doing this interview, and believe me, all my guests can attest to this. I don't prep them much. I'll just say, I have 5 questions for you and just get ready. And during the stretch of 30 minutes or 1 hour, they'll just get questions coming in for me. And look at both of them, Sophie and Chris. They're just, they're just, so relaxed. So this is my question. Sophie is saying that you are the sensing and intuitive type of person. What if someone, of course, we would love it if our gut instinct is strong, or
Yes.
if our gut is speaking to us, we know how to listen. But what if our gut is not strong, or we are not ready, or we're afraid to listen? What are the ways we can, improve on
And
that?
access that, right? So
Yeah,
the
access
the
that.
biggest thing first, it's such a good question, because we kind of need to see where we're at in terms of our domain of power. Let me explain you this. If you want to be the president of the country, hey, you can do so, but start off by studying politics. Go and start with municipal elections, and then slowly you step up to then become the president of the country. So what I mean by that is, if it is that it's very foreign to you, to never had actually listen to your intuition, start with small things. What do I want to eat today, this evening? What's good for my body? Start seeing what is the effect in your body when you are asking this kind of questions. You get into a room. How does the room feel? Before you speak to an individual, how does that conversation flow? And then have a look and see between what you thought and what is going on. And you'll be able this way to slowly, slowly start calibrating and aligning what it is that you are saying and what it is that you are feeling. Because at the end of the day, and I think that's really the whole program and the core of it for Chris and I, is that we are working with self-awareness, all of us, right? Self-awareness and self-management. So becoming more and more self-aware about ourselves means that we can shed light and a spotlight on the subconscious mind, which isn't so complicated. It really is all about what we are today, and who we are today is a product of our environment. Yes? And as we're
Yes.
peeling off the layers like an onion, as you're taking off your clothes and you are raw naked in front of yourself, you then have the ability to really go in and dig deep and then find that core that is amazing and unique. But because of all the noise, what our parents taught us, what our teachers taught us, what our culture, our religion, our beliefs, our wounds, our hurts, we are all guided by our narrative. And sometimes our narrative or story is not a nice one, or we don't know any better. So the more self-aware you become, the more you manage yourself, the more you manage yourself, the more you start believing in yourself, the more you start believing in yourself, the more you can kind of be aligned and move in the direction and therefore access, because everyone has access to their intuition or their inner knowing, their gut instinct. Everyone has it. It's just about clearing the noise. It's about opening the windows. It's about, because I don't know when last you went into this room, right? So you maybe
Right.
need to clean up. That's kind of my version. Chris,
That's
what do you?
Wonderful.
interesting. How about you, Chris?
Yes.
Because you're
Yeah.
a trained engineer, right? You're more scientific, you're more systematic, system
Yes.
oriented. So are you a sensing feeling kind of person?
Yeah. It is more on the what we see and the school of thought that we came from. And what I believe is your thoughts becomes your words, and your words becomes your action, and your action becomes your character, and your character becomes your habit. It's all from starts from your thoughts, and what you see is what you believe. And this
Okay.
is where when you start to see things in a different people have a different perspective of things, seeing
Yep.
things, and how we perceive it. It's all from the school that we came from, and the books that we read, and the knowledge that we have. That is why, like, I always believe that from the beginning of my life as a when I wanted to become a motivator, a speaker, that was at the age of 19, when I was sitting, because there's no one has taught me about motivation. No one has told me that I can become who I want to be during my early life. Until a day I went and sat in a business talk that was in Kuala Lumpur. I was sitting there, and there was one man who was on the stage. He was shouting there. He said, "You can be who you want to be. It's all in your mind and all these sort of things." And I really pick up that word. I say, "Hey, if I want to be who I want to be, it all starts from me." So, and that is where, and there was another word he told me, the crowd. He was telling, he said, "Act the way you want to be, and soon you will be the way you act." And that is where I said it all starts from the thought. If you want to be rich, act the way you want to be rich, and soon you'll be the rich.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So it is
so
all
true.
by action. And
Yep.
if you want to be an entrepreneur, go and mix around with the entrepreneurs. Talk to the entrepreneurs. Think the way the entrepreneurs think, and you will become one soon. And that is
Yep.
the energy, the gut feeling that we will be attracting. And what Sophie was telling about the energy, it's all about that. If we want to be someone successful, but keep looking for someone who likes to complain about things and who is not happy in whatever that they are doing, and that is the energy we are going to attract.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And that
It's
is,
true.
And in
yeah,
science, what they say, you can't create energy, but you can change the energy from one form to another
exactly.
form.
And you
Yeah.
got a
Exactly.
choice, yeah,
Yeah.
where you want to
So
be.
yeah, you make complete sense when you say it starts from me, and you were saying that it starts from the thought, right?
Yes,
Would you say that it's the same thing, and it starts with the desire, the
yes.
want? Yeah.
it is more like the thought. When you love what you want to do,
Mhm.
it is from your heart. That means your heart and your mind communicates. I think that is where you will love what you will be doing, and that is where that you want to do more on that. When I
Mm.
when when first in my life at the age of 19, I know the word motivation. Somebody told me that I can do something that I want to be, that I deserve. That sticks on my mind so hard that that is where I told myself I don't want to be in this kind of mindset anymore.
Mhm.
And the next thing I want to do, I want to inspire more people out there who doesn't know that they can do much things from where they are now. They can be better than who they are.
Mm.
From then on, I told
Yep.
myself I want to inspire more people.
Yep. Chris, I know you in person, so I know that you've climbed Mount Kinabalu. Mount
Yes,
Sophie, Mount Kinabalu is the highest peak in, I think, Southeast Asia. Chris, I'm
Southeast
right?
Asia. Yes,
Southeast
yes, yes.
Asia. And Chris has
Wow.
reached the peak twice.
Twice. Yes.
Right? So, what was your
Amazing.
motivation for that? I mean, I
I
know it's
always
not easy. Yeah.
yes. You see, I like to take a challenge on myself. I like to do something that fears me,
Mm.
because whatever that fears me, whatever that my mind is telling me that I can't do, I will take a challenge on that.
Mm-hmm.
This
Okay.
started back in my when I was very young. When I
Okay.
my uncle told me when I was young, he said you will never be who you want to be. At that time, he asked me who you want to be when you grow up. I told him that I want to be an engineer. He said you will never be one. You will end up working with how my dad was working. Then I said, hey, who is this man to decide who I am
Nice.
supposed to be? And that is where I took a challenge. I said, from then on, it sticks in me that whatever people tells me that I can't do, even I tell myself I can't do certain things, I will take a challenge on that. And
Mm.
that
And
is
turn it
where
into positive energy.
exactly
Very.
I
Mm.
want to make it that is a something that it is possible for
Mm.
me to do. There's no such thing as impossible.
True.
So at the age of 37,
Mm.
at its age of 37, I was very fat then. I was 88 kg.
No, I can't imagine.
That was 88 kg. So I told myself, I am 88 kg. I'm not fit. But at that time, when a group of friends of mine who wanted to climb Mount Kinabalu, they invited me. They said, Chris, would you like to join? And that is where I say, okay, let's take the challenge. It was so difficult for me at that time because my stamina was low. I was not fit, but yet my mind was very strong because I saw the peak before I start to climb. And I
Mm.
achieved the peak in 2007. In
Wow.
2008, last year, 2019, again, I got a doubt whether I could achieve the peak again at that age of 45. And I said, okay, let's take the challenge. And that is where I went. And again, I could see the peak before I start the climb, and I achieved the peak. That was the second time. And we are planning to go to Everest Base Camp next year. So I got to be
Wow.
really, really fit.
Keep
Right.
building the goals. It's great.
Yeah.
Now I declare it in a live show, then I have to
You
fulfill
are
it. I have to
committed. You
go.
are committed.
We remind
Yeah.
you.
And Sophie, how do you find your motivation?
So I very much echo what Chris is saying because I, for example, decided last year I didn't even know how I was going to do it to go to the Tony Robbins event in Singapore, and at the time I wasn't even I knew that I didn't have the time or I didn't have the resources, and I pressed start and I booked my ticket and I said I'm going to just simply be able to do that. And when I arrived on day one or day two, they prepare us for the fire walk. And I was so scared, so scared. You cannot believe. There's a difference between imagining it and saying, "Woohoo! I'm going to firework," and then there's a difference when you see barrels of coal right in front of you that are 1,000 degrees heat, and you just have to walk through it, even though so many people did it. When it's your turn, you don't want to burn your feet. We have to sign an indemnity paper that maybe we can burn, because if the peak state is not there, it can be. So I was actually with our common friend Sri. I was crying, and then I was crying about crying because I'm a coach, so I shouldn't be crying. So I had fun with myself as well. But I managed to walk through it. This for me is my experience as well. Like when you ask me where is it coming from, we are putting our own limitations there, and I like to break them all the time. So I'm not so great in mathematics because I own the fact that I'm not great at everything. I arrived in London and I worked in banking for the first 2 years. I was in the biggest banks in London. Why? Because I put my mind to it. So I don't have any special power. Chris doesn't have any special power, but we have what it seems to be the motivation and the willingness to push through something that each of your listeners and can go through in the same way just because of one decision. And you manage you spoke about we spoke about focus as well. What we look at depends on it's like what you find depends on what you look for.
I see.
So
Yeah,
if you want to see fear, you will see fear
you
all
will see.
around you.
Yeah. So,
If
I
you
mean,
want
there are
to
so
see,
many cliche quotes for this, actually. I mean, you call it cliche, but it's very powerful quotes. Like something like, whatever your mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. This
Yes.
kind of stuff, right? Yeah, and motivation quotes, although they are so overly used because, we are so familiar with Google, it's still powerful. It's still something people put up in the offices, in the bedroom. And it's really true. It's all the power of the mind.
and you know what? I want to. Can you hear me well, or is there an echo?
Well, but there seems to be a different in energy. There is a sound going on around, yeah, for a minute or two already.
Is it better?
Yeah.
Yes, I think so. Yes,
Let me try again. And now,
I think it's perfect. Yeah,
yes.
yeah, it's gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to do an exercise with you, all
Mhm.
of you. Geraldine, you
Are you going
play.
to ask me to jump again? Sophie asked me to jump right before the show.
Together, Chris, you do the same exercise, and it was
Okay.
great. And we did it in the seminar, and I want to do it with you. You are now, for the listeners that are in your home, I want you to look around the room. Look around your room and find anything that is maybe red in color. Okay, try find something red quickly, quickly, quickly. Another 5 seconds. Close your eyes. Don't cheat. Close your eyes. And now tell me if you can find something that is green in color. You can
Yes,
open it. Yes, can you see green?
yes.
Okay, so you are good, Geraldine. And you, Chris, can you see? Now you can both open your eyes again. And even what's interesting though is that when you start seeing that you're only looking for red, it's very difficult to see the green.
Oh,
That's the
okay.
idea, right? The idea is that when our mind, when our brain, our reticular activating system is looking for red, we're going to only it's asking us to just go and look for that. So when we have old belief systems like I'm not good enough, I'm going to scan my environment to
Oh
see
no.
where can I see that I'm not good enough, and then I'm going to prove myself right because we like comfort zone and safety.
Yeah.
But actually, when you want to change and shift your story, you need to start seeing that green also exists. So it's not because you didn't see the green that the green doesn't exist. Make sense?
Makes
And that's
sense.
how the quotes that you see out there, the cliche quotes, that's how you
Mm,
can experience it for yourself. The perception that you have is only linked to the self awareness that you have at this point in time.
that's very
Wow.
interesting.
Yeah.
Both of you are telling so much things, so much sharing tonight. Just to stop again and to say hi to the viewers who has joined us. I see quite a few who has watched from earlier. Sorry that we didn't take a pause to say hello to all of you. If you're still here, that's great. Otherwise, you can watch the replay. Yeah. Um, Sophie, Chris, I think it's time for me to move into the second segment where I want to have you guys discussed about your upcoming programs? Program actually, upcoming program. Just give me a moment. I'll just pop this through. Okay, this is the upcoming event that will be, co-conducted by Sophie and Chris. They are going to have this together. It's a 2-hour program coming up in August. All right, let's talk about this a little bit. Who wants to start? Chris, why don't
Great.
you give us an overview about what this program is about?
Well, this is a program where manage your inner power to be the best performer. We came out this title is just because what both of us feel like there are many people out there who doesn't realize their potential, that the potential within them, that they have the energy, that they can be who they are, who they want to be. And during this pandemic, there are many people that have gone through a lot of tough time. Some of them depression. Some have lost their belief that they can achieve certain things in their life. And I think what Sophie and myself we were discussing, I said this is the right time for us to enlighten these people, those who are out there, with something that we know, that's something that we have experienced, so that they can be uplifted. And I'll be talking more on coming out of a comfort zone. Many of us feel, without we realizing, the comfort zone is a zone that without we realizing, we will move into it and we stay in there. When someone asks you, are you in a comfort zone? You say, no, 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 I am not. But actually they are,
Right.
because they will be comfortable with whatever earning they have, whatever uh, things that been provided to them.
Mm-hmm.
And during this COVID, it is a wake-up call for most of us that we should realize that where we are heading, and some of them really feel that they were exactly in a comfort zone where they have to move out of it. Moving out of a comfort zone is totally a different thing. It is not an easy task. It you got to have a guts and kind of a willpower to move out of it,
Right.
because there are people, if they don't want to change, that is where the problem comes in. And I'll be talking about the comfort zone and how they are going to overcome fear and explore into a new world where they find the growth in themselves. Comfort zone is something, a zone where there is no growth. There is no growth at all. You will be wait there for something to happen
Yep.
or something to take you away. Many in comfort zone, they don't realize, as I was telling you. And this is where the program, I'll be talking about coming out of the comfort zone, and where you have to focus on yourself so that you can go ahead with whatever dreams that you had. How to wake up again and unleash your potential deep within you and be the person who you want to be. And this is where, like Sophie will be talking about the energy that we have deep inside us, that you can unleash it during this process. Yes, maybe
Okay.
Sophie, maybe you can share more about the energy that we
Yes.
need out of this.
What
Yeah,
100%. Thank you, Chris. That was like a great way of really bringing up first what you do and how it can complement with what I'm going to speak about. So, for me, the issue here is not even COVID-19. The issue is our psychology and our skills to handle COVID-19. Maybe there will be COVID 20, 21, 22, 23. Our lives are about uncertainty. So when people speak about these are unprecedented times, Yes and no. Yes, because the whole world has been affected. But if you think about it, we always have to deal with some form of uncertainty. So the difference between me being calm right now with zero electricity and since last 3 o'clock in the afternoon, nothing, and someone else is
Mm-hmm.
simply that I choose my response to the stress coming in me right now. How am I going to live that? And then the more power, the more inner power, the more energy I have for myself, the more expansion I feel because my emotional fitness is strong. So fitness is not just muscles. Fitness is a
Yes.
mindset. It's this muscle. It's nothing functions without energy. And uh, when we start off with our resources and being resourceful, that's the psychology of success as well, right? Skills is maybe 20%, but 80% of it is the psychology. Tony Robbins often speaks about this, and I love what he says because this is really what it is. And in that zone of the 80%, which is psychology, what I'm going to then work with and what I'm excited to share and bring value to is that we exist within this emotional home, and how can we affect life? How can we bring the best of ourselves forward if we don't have energy? And energy is not only the fuel of what we eat. There's a physical aspect, there's an emotional component, there's multitasking, there's monotasking versus multitasking. There is a sense of being on purpose or not being on purpose. And all of these different details can help you to enhance the energy that you have within you, to raise it so that you can raise to your own challenges, so that you can live your own dream, whether it is in COVID-19 or not. So this
Yeah.
is not just a little word. It's something that both Chris and I are living, because otherwise we wouldn't have done this for so long. We kind of we learned this stuff, we are living it, and that's why we can give it. So the whole point of energy management and the work we're going to do is letting go of imperfections, understanding what feeds you. And it's different for everyone. Understanding how to listen to yourself, how to speak more kindly towards yourself, how to invite love. Everything is starting with that. Yes, self-love.
Oh, I like that part. You say how to speak more kindly to ourselves. There's always this. We talk about this experiment that was conducted on plants, saying negative words to one plant and saying good positive words to another plant. The plant that thrives would be the plant that was spoken kindly to,
Yeah.
and yeah, that works on human too. Yep, I
Very
like
much
that.
so.
Yep, manifestation.
Yes.
Absolutely. And there was a study made, I think, by a Japanese professor, Emoto, I think,
Yes.
with the water as well. So it is very powerful. And I very much believe to really being able to move from the heart space in our days. And that doesn't mean that an engineer or a business owner that's watching us cannot handle this or should not even be part of this program, because it's for everyone. We all have this beating heart, and we all want to be able to access that side within us that can be a bit more forgiving. And so it's really, mindfulness is about kind observation, not just observation, kind observation.
Right, that's very interesting. Chris, you want to add on to that?
Yeah, it will be an amazing program, I believe, because this was planned in, because it is not something that both of us just came out of blue and we said, hey, let's deliver this. No, we have planning this for a couple of weeks, in fact, because only then we said, hey, why don't we come out with a public program where we can share this, our ideas, so that many will benefit out of it. And I
Mm-hmm.
think both of these ideas can be put in together. And during this time, there are
Mm-hmm.
many people out there who really needs this wisdom to pick themselves up and to move forward to the greater uh, future of themselves.
Yep. The best version or the better version, because it
Exactly.
won't be the best. Because
Exactly,
the best means
exactly.
you're done. You're done. It's just a
Yeah,
better version of you.
and
It's
Yeah.
almost
because
like, yeah, like upgrading your phones, yeah? Like now
Right.
2.0, and then next year 2.5 or 3.0. It doesn't stop.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Shoba is watching us on one of the
Yeah,
watch party that I have.
Yeah, Shobara, it's Masaru
You are
Emoto.
right.
This
Thank
guy
Exactly.
you.
about his theory of the water,
Water molecules.
yeah, molecules, where you speak positive energies on that. Yes,
That's
Thank
just
wonderful.
you, Shoma.
the first time I read about that experiment. My the hair on my arm stood. It's crazy and creepy at the same time, but then it was a research, which means it's not mumbo jumbo, it's science. So
Yes,
it's so powerful, so crazy. Yeah, thank you, Shobha, for sharing that with us. She's also saying hello to us. Because she's watching on a
Hi.
watch party, I can't just pop up her message through, and can see her beautiful face.
It's so nice. Thank you. I just
thanks
wanted
very
to
much.
add one more thing. Everybody speaks about time management, right? Like a lot of soft skills and training goes into time management, but no one speaks about energy management because time management is linear. A couple of you only
Mhm.
have 24 hours in your day, and then within there you only have x amount of hours in which you then work and eat and sleep some part of it as well, so you can stretch it as much as you want within the 24 hours, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
But if you don't have the energy, and I now am a magician, I'm a little fairy, and Geraldine, I give you a little bit more time there, what are you going to do with it if you don't have the energy?
Sleep. Oh no, okay. I'm
Exactly,
just gonna
you can. And after the sleep, you'll have the energy to then attend to time management. So energy management is exponential. And when you feel 100% energy, you can not even have slept much and you still feel the energy.
Mhm.
So you
Mhm.
can attend to your time management. I think it was important perhaps to just share that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wonderful.
This term, I'm not sure. Is it coined by you, Sophie? Energy management.
Not at all. Not at all. It's actually it's Tony Schwartz that I actually saw on YouTube speaking about energy and how to enhance your energy. And then I said to myself, "This is brilliant. You know,
Mhm.
this is what we need to work with more." And because I have then worked with it and tried it myself, I can
Mhm.
say through trial and error, I can see that this is working. And also COVID-19 again, perfect example of spaces of stress. You know, I'm a single mom. I have to provide. I've had to turn my business around. What do I do? I'm working in my business. I'm working on my business. How do I continue? I want to be overseas, international. You know, all these things. How is it that today we are speaking and I'm speaking on a beautiful international platform thanks to you? It's because I thought, we bring this along. No one is luckier than another one. It's just about effecting change from within, and for that again it demands energy and some form of self-confidence and your intuition or your gut instinct to bring you in a particular direction.
That's really
Wonderful.
good. Wonderful. Shobha is still watching us. Yes, Shobha. She's a good friend of Chris and mine. She's a believer of manifestation. Yeah, exactly. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Sophie also mentioned 20% of skill and 80%. What word did you use, Sophie?
So
80%
when we think about mindset and success,
mm,
80% is psychology and 20%
psychology.
is
Mm,
mechanics, right?
yeah,
Yes.
So,
that's correct.
and I have learned this from the various teachers. It's kind of like the 80-20 principle, the Pareto principle, but here it's
Mhm.
the other way around where we're saying only 20% is mechanics. Because if you have all the skills and the
Yeah,
knowledge, that's okay. But if you don't have the psychology behind it to push you towards it, you can go
correct.
to many seminars and it will never change.
Exactly. I learned this from another trainer actually. He did it like this: the Pareto principle, 20% skill, the other 80% he called it will. So it's the skill and versus the will.
Nice,
So I really
nice.
like it. So it's the hands and the mind. So it's really exactly what you and Chris will be sharing in this upcoming program. I did see the poster, a flyer. I'll bring it up again just to check, is my eyesight or was there a typo, Chris? Is it really 49 ringgit per participant?
Yeah, for participants, yes. It's
No
49.
typo here.
No, no. It's
Because
40.
it's 2 hours and we are getting two international trainers and it's only 49. So guys, if you've heard Sophie and Chris sharing about their journey, their motivation, their belief system, and what they do, teach or impart onto their participants. If this is something that you feel can help you, can empower you, it doesn't matter where you are in your life right now. I mean, if you're depressed or sad or having some negative emotion, or if you're just trying to grow, coming out of a comfort zone, getting out there in a cold situation, but yet being happy and being okay and thriving. No matter where you are, I do think I'm personally, Chris, you got my word, I'm signing up for it. All I have, my usual problem is the date. So let me check with my calendar. I'm signing up for it, the 2 hours I'm going to spend with both of
Thank you
you.
very much.
I think
Oh, that's amazing. Thank
it would
you.
definitely enrich me because for me, I'm also a very sensing, emotional, gut feeling kind of girl. Very stubborn. So throw that in the mix is ridiculous to push me to do anything. I'm the type, if I feel it, if I believe it, I'll go for it. No matter who tells me what, I'll be like, let me think about it. And I'm known to be an overthinker. So there are words that both of you have used that touch me, and I think it is we are jiving. I mean, the terms that we are using, and I'm hearing things that I like. So yeah, count me in. I really don't believe it's 49 ringgit. Chris, Sophie, are you guys serious?
Well, for us, really, and this is what we do. We do this out of love. I think both Chris and I, right? And for me, it really is about access. And I
Mm,
would love as many people as possible to access this kind of knowledge. And maybe, and so the point is, it's not also about giving it for free completely, because if we are not putting in something, this energy exchange, this commitment, then people won't even respect it at all. But if there is something and you feel it in your pocket, just that
mhm.
little symbolic amount is enough to
Yeah,
say, I'm going to show up.
yeah,
But
Exactly.
it really,
exactly.
it is about expanding this and making sure that as many people as possible can access our combined expertise, knowledge, and life, if you will, in a beautiful setting, in a really good way.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I mean, I'm an organizer of learning events, something like this, and I work with trainers who are even giving programs for free. And my role is, if the session is free, my service is free too. I'm supporting an agenda. Chris is one of my training partners actually. So you're right, Sophie. When you're giving something for free, even though it's knowledge, and knowledge they say is priceless, people take it for granted. And I can observe this taking for granted behavior through the registration. I will get 100 names, 150 names, but on the day itself, the attendance, believe you me, it's 40 to 50%.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Correct.
So,
Yes.
so,
Correct.
so it's not
Eh,
about 20 ringgit, 50 ringgit. It's the fact that you commit, you as a participant, you commit, you feel the pinch, and then somehow magically your brain will open, your heart will open. So
Exactly.
and
it's the
and it
You're
is
right.
transformation.
You're right. Yes.
exactly, and the training, it doesn't mean, for example, that the training is linked to the nominal fee. It's really what we consciously said to ourselves: let us take this type of work that we charge a lot of money for in our respective countries, and just and allow. For me, the biggest thing is, can we make a contribution in this world today?
Mm,
The time right now is now to make an impact, so that more people can wake up and really go for having the energy that is needed in order to
mhm,
believe in themselves, to move out of their comfort zone, to finally live their lives. Because if COVID-19 could teach you one thing, is move after what it is that you love. Don't wait for the government to help you. Don't wait for your employer to put you on, to give you a half of your salary. Try with what you have to go forward with your uniqueness, And it shows you with the paintings as well. People said to me, come on, you'll never do an exhibition. You're not even a trained photographer. I also said to them, whatever. And I did it. I was on the radio and I was in a gallery. Why?
Yep.
Believe.
Crazy. Yep.
Wonderful.
We did cover that. Sophie is actually not just a photographer or rather, self-made, self-proclaimed photographer. She's actually an art exhibitor. Through her photos, she's an art exhibitor. And I mean, if you know how it works, then exhibition is a different ball game, and only for the pros or this is crazy. So Shobha, thank you so much. You have written down that you would like some information. No worries, I'll give it to you. She's also written something quite beautiful. In love with what you just said, amazing and empowering, and yeah, it truly is. It's so unfortunate that we're coming to the end of the show now. But the good thing is, this is not the last time you'll see and hear from Chris and Sophie, seeing that the event is coming up. So block your calendars, 8th of August. What day is that, guys? 8th of August would be
It's Saturday.
Saturday. It's a Saturday. Okay. So block your calendar. Well, if you are in the verge of deciding, not decided, and just get in touch with us. So Sophie and Chris will be available to just have a discussion, chit chat with you on where you're watching us right now on Facebook. Yeah, Chris and I definitely will be involved with the conversation, and Sophie will join in as well, right, Sophie?
Yes, totally.
Yeah, so
I join you everywhere. I'm moving. I'm
so beautiful. So yeah, let's share this energy. I tell you, the first minute I met Sophie, I was a bit tired, but when she came onto the screen, by the end of it, I was just beaming with joy. So it's a testament to who Sophie is. Just through a screen, I can feel her energy. So it's something that I thought that, wow, now we are doing a lot of webinars. I would like to have that kind of ability, if you want to use that word, ability to connect with someone in this positive and very colorful manner. And Chris, his power is motivation. He will give you some understanding about where you are and where you can be. And that's Chris and his strength. So together, I think this will be an amazing show this 8th of August. We are at the tail end of the show. Any last words, guys? Did we miss out anything? Anything else you may want to add?
Firstly, Geraldine, I just want to say that you've been an incredible host, and you are the one that brings light to everything, because without you, we wouldn't have that part, right? And I just love the way you bring the question and the human side to it, where it's just a beautiful conversations between three people on life. And so thank you for that. And to the listeners out there, thank you for your time as well. There are so many programs out there, and if you just waited or you stopped to listen to us, I thank you very, very dearly. And Shobha, I saw that you said this was amazing sharing, so I thank you again for that too. And I can assure you that this is just the beginning. It's really we are breathing and living and loving what we do, both Chris and I. And I have no doubt that you're going to feel very inspired at the end of this program.
Thank you. Wonderful, Sophie. And thank you very much, Geraldine, for hosting us. And it's always wonderful to be in Geraldine's show. She's very lively and it's beautiful. You are doing an amazing job. And thank you very much. Join us in our program. I always believe that you are always better than this.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Both of them has given me a lot of inspiration and a lot of motivation. I think there's some transference in energy going around tonight.
Yeah.
So thank you both for being my guest. 1 hour spent with me. Appreciate it. Sophie, your computer may be dying at any moment, so I'll just wrap it up.
Electricity is back. So in the meantime,
that's amazing. That's amazing. All right, and thank
you.
you so much for watching the show, guys. The live audience, and if you're watching this on replay, amazing. Thank you so much. Get in touch with me to know more about the program. And for this Friday, I will be having another international and also a trainer, international trainer. And this time it's from Singapore. His name is Anson. He will be talking. He'll be on the show with me, and he'll be talking about his program, Romance of the Three Kingdom. It's his program based on history. So it's his training
Wow.
program based on history. So Romance of the Three Kingdom should be an interesting conversation as well.
Definitely.
So catch you guys on Friday at 9 for Shine at 9. Thank you very much. Good night,
Thank
everyone.
you. Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.